Alright, so let's get started. So I start with the wireframe of the figure, and just to keep it simple, put in the head, body, arms, legs, a couple lines. And this is just to get a sense of the proportion and how it's going to fit on the page. You don't want it to be just this big head that takes up half the page. I'm going for a full body here. And after that, I'm starting in here with the head. I'll do the face detail to get started. And what I did was I sent the wireframe layer to the back, and I made a new layer, and I made the wireframe layer a little bit lighter. Now I'm working digitally in Clip Studio, but this process could be used in any drawing program, such as Photoshop or Krita or whatever you'd like to use. If you do it on the iPad, same thing. And I'm doing some side sketches to kind of go into more detail about what I'm doing with the character drawing. And here I'm drawing a face. It's a lot of different ways to draw faces and heads. I usually start with oval and then I put a midline in. Some people do an oval for the face and then do the head case in the back. You definitely don't want to forget that the shape of the head is like that. You have the front and then you have like a back portion where the brain case is. And when I draw the torso, I do the same thing almost as when I draw the head. I draw the center line and kind of build out from there. Now the shapes I'm drawing, okay, well here's a rib cage, and you draw the sternum, the clavicles, and you have the neck, and then you have the spine in the back, the obliques, the inguinal line, and you have the pectorals and the shoulders and arms, and going back to the neck and put the head on. And this is all sort of like underneath when I'm drawing characters. It's almost a second nature or instinctual at this point. And if you want, you can include a whole figure underneath and draw the clothing and the variations on top of that. Sometimes I do that. They do that a lot in character design. They do that especially in fashion design. Sometimes though, I like to just draw the figure and the character as one thing. Because the body and the character are kind of part of the design, the anatomy, the portions of the figure, and how it interacts with the clothing or the armor, the costume. It all kind of goes together as opposed to just drawing a figure and then, putting different clothes on there, which is another approach. There's different ways to approach doing character design and different ways to approach doing drawing figures. And a big point of my class is that you can do whatever you want. You need to find your own style and your own technique. But it's good to learn from other people and other people's techniques. You may discover new ways to do things that you can incorporate into your own workflow. And for me, I like to draw these sort of like loopy organic lines because the body is, fairly organic. So sometimes I draw the figures a little too thin, or after I draw them, I want to make them a little wider. So I went ahead and stretched them out. And that's it for getting started. And I turn off the back layer.